Welcome back to Elseworlds, the best comic book related show in the multiverse. And today we're going to be talking about the new film, Captain Marvel.
Extracting Elseworld profile. Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Now, Captain Marvel is a film that I have been looking forward to for a long time. She's become one of my favorite characters in the comics, and I've been looking for this movie for so long, and in fact I hated that it was pushed back so that we could include Spider-Man movies. But, in the end, we still got a Captain Marvel movie, and there's a lot of controversy behind it. You have Brie Larson's comments, you have the fan war between Captain Marvel and Shazam, which I find to be very, very stupid, by the way. I'm not involved in all that. I'm just going to be reviewing this movie as I viewed it. A fan of Marvel and a fan of DC, and I'm going in to review a movie as it is. Okay? With that said, what did I think about this movie? Well, I thought it was good. Not great, not bad either. There were things about it that I thought were incredibly freaking stupid, but we'll get to that later. So what did I like about it? Well, let's start off with Brie Larson. Now, avoiding her comments in the real world, how did I view her as Captain Marvel in this movie? I thought she did great. I thought her acting was strong, especially in the second half of the movie. She felt a little awkward in the first half at parts, but she quickly improved as the movie went on. And for those worried about her so-called emotionless face in all the promotional materials, there is actually an explanation for it, which is given early on. But also, the marketing only showed those parts. She's actually quite funny. She's very snarky, very smartass, which I enjoyed. She definitely emulated what I see in Captain Marvel. As a whole, I enjoyed Brie Larson, and the more that went on, the more I liked her. Then you have Samuel L. Jackson returning as a young Nick Fury, and I loved everything about him. Well, almost everything. There was something that they showed in this movie which I was looking forward to seeing, but it was really, really dumb. I won't talk about it here. I'm going to do a whole separate video just based on that scene alone. But as a whole, I really liked the Nick Fury in this movie just because it was a joy seeing the more fun, brighter side of Fury. He isn't the hardened, cold-natured Fury that we're used to seeing. We see him as a young man, and it's really refreshing in my opinion. And all the rest of the actors did a good job. But then we get to my favorite performance in the whole movie, and that is Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrull Talos. I loved this villain. He was the best thing about the movie. He did the Skrull leader, Talos, so well that I honestly wish that the Skrulls had their own spin-off. He was charming, he was funny, he was everything I wanted in a villain. And Ben Mendelsohn, he proves to be great in every movie he's in. The action was fun, the comedy was good for the most part, it knew when to take itself seriously, and it treats its characters with respect, unlike Ant-Man and the Wasp, which turned everything into a freaking joke. And the movie had some twists that I liked. I think the movie is at its strongest when it's just Captain Marvel and Nick Fury interacting. They have a great chemistry with each other. The visuals for the most part were pretty good, but there was some wonky CGI at some points. Like, in the final battle, the final big fight, you know, the one we always look forward to in any superhero film, it looked pretty bad. Like, really bad. It kind of reminded me of the final fight in Black Panther, which, yeah, why does this keep happening? You guys are Marvel. If you guys can give us this, then I'm pretty sure you guys can deliver Captain Marvel. And the music, well, it's still Marvel music, and let's be honest, 90% of the time, their music is never memorable. But I'll admit, there was a few moments in this movie where I felt, hey, that track was pretty good. But still, for the most part, it was just kind of it's alright. There is a post-credit scene, and I'll admit, it was pretty freaking sweet. And now we get to what I didn't like, and unfortunately, there is quite a bit. I'll admit, the pacing is a little off. There's a lot of moments where the movie just gets kind of boring. But there's times where I'm just like, can you pick this up a little bit? I mean, it's a little boring. And there's characters that are involved in this movie that you kind of hope would get more development because they were in previous Marvel films, but they don't. Example, Ronan, yeah, he's in this movie. Don't expect much from him. He's in there for maybe like 2 minutes at the most. Same with Jimon Hunsu's character from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's only in there a little bit and we get nothing about him. Which is a shame because I think Jimon Hunsu is a great actor and I think he could have developed his character even more. Same with Lee Pace as Ronan. Phil Coulson's in the movie, but again, kind of a waste. I mean, you had him in advertising. I mean, I was looking forward to more Phil Coulson. He does have a couple of interesting moments here and there, but for the most part, it just feels like, hey, people liked him, so let's just throw him in there for no reason. This one was a pet peeve of mine, but this movie was pretty obnoxious with its overuse of nods and winks towards the 90s. This movie does take place in the 90s, which, fine, you gotta show it off that it is, but this movie goes overboard, and almost every 5 minutes it has to shove it in your face. She's wearing a 9-inch nails shirt. Get it? Because it's the 90s. There's a Blockbuster. Get it? Because it's the 90s. There's a payphone. Get it? Because it's the 90s. There's a Radio Shack. Get it? Because it's the 90s. The SHIELD agents use pagers. Get it? Because it's the 90s. How much can we shove the 90s down your throat? It'd be acceptable if it was the first or second time, but to do it every 5 minutes, it just got kind of annoying to me. And going back to the CGI, they de-aged Samuel L. Jackson pretty well. He looked great. He looked like a young Sam Jackson. But they de-aged Phil Coulson. And yeah, it looked off. It reminded me of Legolas from The Desolation of Smaug. There was a scene where they explained something else from the Marvel Universe, and I'll admit, it got my eyes to roll. It wasn't really needed. It wasn't terrible like something else, which I'll talk about in another video. Well, I'll just say this, it was just kind of like, whatever. And there are a few moments in this movie where they definitely went overboard with trying to make men out to be assholes, bigots, or sexists. Yes, I understand this is a feminist movie. It is. Which, I'm a feminist. I believe that men and women should have equal rights. Be treated equally. Stuff like that. I believe in equality. But this movie kind of does the opposite. Where it just insults men. It's only a few sequences, but it did get annoying. Especially with one with a really cringy line that just no guy ever says. No guy ever says that. And usually I don't get involved with discussions like this, but if the movie's gonna throw the bullshit in my face, then I will respond to it. Anyway, there are some great moments, and there are some stupid moments. But as a whole, I had a smile on my face through most of it. I give the movie a 6.5 out of 10. It's about the same as the first Thor movie, where it's not great, but it's good enough to make me want to see Captain Marvel's adventures continue. And I firmly believe that she will improve as a character throughout all 7 movies that she's in. While the movie ain't perfect, I thought it was a fun ride. I say go check it out, but just don't expect Infinity War levels of awesomeness. With that said, hope you all enjoyed this review, like the video if you did, comment your thoughts down below on Captain Marvel, and subscribe for more episodes. With that said, I'll see you all next time in the multiverse.